take projection.
Welcome everybody to Taking On Sports. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you tonight?
I'd be a lot better if I didn't just turn it on ACC network to see highlights of 2010 South Carolina game and then the 2010 Iron Bowl. God damn, that's a kick
I
in the nuts
forgot.
right there.
I blacked those things out of my life. Like I tried to keep the negative
You're
locked
right,
away.
right. Horrible timing.
Mm.
The funny thing is, the reason I even changed it in the first place, I just had it on this Cards and Cubs game,
Yeah.
is because I had a Managa, the Cubs starting pitcher, in my fantasy league, which I'm terrible at anyway. But I needed a big game from him to win. Sure enough, I got it. He had taken the lead, got 2 outs in the seventh, and then gave up
Yeah. Of
back-to-back hits to score a run.
course it did.
And then all of a sudden lost 3 points, and now I'm going to lose by one.
Because the joy of fantasy.
Right? I was like,
Mm.
God, and that's just $50 I just throw away, or 25,
Yeah.
whatever it is, every year,
Yeah. Um,
just for baseball. I can never win it, man.
Baseball is tough.
It is, man. It's tough, and if you don't get lucky with your starting pitchers and stuff, and like, because for a while this year, I had like Zach Wheeler and Max
Yeah.
Fried, and then the one Braves pitcher that was healthy and good, Schwelle. And
Yeah.
then, Wheeler's been all right. He's had a couple of bummer games lately, but, he's like the second, third highest scoring pitcher this
Right.
year. Max Fried had a great first half. He's fallen off. And then, of course, Schwelle got hurt. And it's just whatever. But nobody cares about my fantasy team. We are back with three of our ACC
Yeah.
or college football preview. And we're doing the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, that also has teams on the Pacific Coast. And Dallas. Sure, whatever. It's all dumb. But yeah, we are back. Last year, it's been a kind of a interesting conference the past couple of years. Clemson's had a couple of down years by their standards.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, still won the conference last year.
Yeah.
Snuck in that game when Miami lost to Syracuse.
Miami.
Yep, and
Yeah.
then beat SMU. Of course, year before that was a big year. Florida State went unbeaten, but still didn't get in the 14 playoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it's kind of a wide open conference. I've got, let's just get into it. We got our tiers. I've got 5 teams in our contenders tier. We'll see if you agree with it, but let's start with the reigning champs, Clemson. I think they're definitely, obviously, a contender.
Absolutely.
This honestly might be one of their better teams in maybe since pre-COVID even. A lot of 17 returning starters, a lot of returning production on offense. Cade Klubnik's
Yep.
Heisman favorite. One of them this year. They expect big things out of him. They got their 3 leading receivers back.
Mhm.
They do need to find a run game. Last year,
Yep.
they lost Phil Maffa. He's gone. They're looking for a freshman, Gideon Davidson, probably to take the majority of the loads. But they need to find a running back. But yeah, man, I think Clemson's probably easily the most talented team in the conference. And
Absolutely.
definitely a favorite to make the title game, if not win it, and maybe make some noise in the playoff this year. What do you think about the
Yeah.
Tigers?
Yeah. I mean, I think this might be the best Clemson team in a while, top to bottom. I mean, of course, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the country, and Kate Klubnik. He really started to come into his own last year. Um, and really took over there. Biggest downfall for them recently has been that defense, and with getting Tom Allen as a defense coordinator, I think that's really gonna
Yeah,
help
it's a
them
big
out.
hire.
Because that's kind of been their down. I mean, they put up points at time, but just haven't been the same since Venables left defensively. So that should really help them out there. They even started going to the transfer portal a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, with Dabo maybe get a little more modern with his philosophies because you just have to these days. That's just can't. There's no way around it. Got a wide receiver, a couple wide receivers there. But yeah, I mean, I think they're a clear favorite in the ACC. And a lot of people have them as a national title contender this year. So I think this is high expectations, but I don't see any reason why they won't be, um, a team we talk about throughout the season.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned Dabo finally dipped his toes in the portal pool a little bit. It's a great move, specifically for that defensive reason you mentioned.
Hmm.
They were in danger of breaking in an all new defensive line, which I guess they still are, but they went out and got some guys with experience. And that's really big for them because that was the strength of all those, title winning teams in the mid
Yeah,
2010s. There was they had just had unbelievable defensive fronts, man.
absolutely.
Guys like Christian
We talk
Wilkin.
about the quarterbacks, but absolutely, those
Yeah,
defenses were pretty elite.
yeah, they were vicious, and yeah, getting that defense back to that level where they just dominate teams, and like you said, they really came in their own last year after the embarrassment at the hands of Georgia to kick off the season. They reeled off six in a row after that. Then got upset by Louisville at home, and then
That was
lost
a
to
weird one.
and lost to
Yeah.
South Carolina at home too. So
Yeah.
that would probably be the one hesitation you have in crowning Clemson early is that their last year their wins did not come against good teams.
Right. No, not
I
at
th-
all.
I think SMU ended up being
But
the only
the
team with a
best one.
winning record that they
Oh,
they beat.
right.
Pitt. They beat Pitt. I can't remember if Pitt finished with a winning record or not, but Pitt of course had that free fall. The
After
back half.
listening, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
after the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, well, of course we'll get to the Panthers, but yeah. So that would be your one hesitation is like, okay, let's do it against
Yeah.
some tough teams, and they will have. Pitt did finish with a winning record, 7-6, but like I said, that was toward the end of the year when Pitt, after the injuries had decimated that
Because
offense.
Pitt
But
was started 7-0 last year and then
yeah,
fell off.
7-0, then lost their last six,
Yeah.
and really just
Mm.
did not even look good either.
No.
But yeah, speaking of schedules, yeah, we'll find out a lot about Clemson right away. They play LSU. They host LSU. A little battle
Yeah.
of the Death Valley Tigers.
That's a huge
Um,
game.
yeah, and then if there's going to be a big hurdle this year for the Tigers, it's that road schedule. Of course they open with LSU, but like we said, that's at home. That's huge. And
Yeah.
then of course with Brian Kelly's just terrible record in opening games, LSU even has
Yeah.
lost I think 5 season
They haven't
openers in a row
won
now.
since
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, it's a
2019 was the last time they won a first game of the
that's
year.
that's
It's
just a
crazy.
weird, insane stat. Yeah. But yeah, so road games for Clemson this year at Georgia Tech, at North Carolina, at Boston College, at Louisville, and then at South Carolina.
Yeah, that's tough.
Those are tricky ones. It's not a murderer's row, but that's like I said, Georgia Tech. They expect to make a leap
They're
this
always
year.
tough.
It's a tough team, and then
Well coached.
North Carolina, we don't know what we're gonna see. Boston
Bill
College is just
Belichick.
yeah, exactly. Boston College is another one of those weird kind of Chestnut
Mhm.
Hill is one of those weird places, and then
Yeah.
at Louisville, that game's on a Friday. You know about Louisville and then weekday games,
Friday night
and then of course at South Carolina, rival to end the year. That's
speaks
always
for itself. Yeah.
yeah. And then on top of that, they still have to play SMU and
Yeah.
Florida State. They get them both at
And
home.
Duke.
Yeah, Duke, and then Syracuse. Who, like we said, was the reason Clemson got into the title game last year.
Right.
So there are some possible pitfalls in that schedule, but
Yeah.
like we said, one of the tougher teams in the or more
Yeah.
talented teams in the country. So
Absolutely.
definitely should be a player for the conference title and
Right.
probably more than likely a playoff team this year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they're not a playoff team, something really went wrong in at
Yeah,
Clemson
yeah,
this year.
yeah. They've had a
Injury or just in jail or something because I don't see a reason why they're not, in November, we're at least talking about Clemson. I mean, they might have a loss or two, but they're in the conversation for sure. I'd be shocked if we're not talking about them,
Yeah, yeah.
in November there. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be not the easiest schedule. I mean, obviously that first game against LSU is huge for both programs, to start off hot,
Hmm.
really gain some momentum there. But yeah, I mean, a lot of tricky games on the schedule. I mean, it's the ACC. I mean, it's a conference that doesn't get probably the least respect out of the Big Four.
Hmm.
But one that's tricky. I mean, we have, we'll talk about other teams, but I mean, there's a lot of games on the schedule this year with some unknowns there. North Carolina,
Hmm.
Florida State. I mean, nobody really knows what Florida State's going to look like this year.
Hmm.
We all think they got to be better than what they were last year, of course. I mean, that was a
Yeah.
crazy free fall, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, I would think that they, very much, if they're not in that ACC championship game, or they're not even, yeah, they're not in that ACC championship game minimum. Yeah, something weird happened, I think. But
No, I agree. I think you can pencil them in for the ACC title game with that amount of talent on that roster. But let's move on to the team they beat in last year's title game. SMU, of course, came
mhm,
into the ACC for their first season and ran
mhm.
over the conference. They were unbeaten in the regular season.
Yeah,
Um,
awesome entrance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, awesome entrance. We've talked about it for a long time, but a program that deserved to be back in a big conference.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, they have a lot of excitement, and obviously they have the money.
hmm.
When they're winning, I mean, they're gonna pay. I mean, their alumni is excited about coming to the ACC. For
Hmm.
them, it was a huge come up. I mean, no matter how we think about the ACC, coming up from the American was huge for them. They get back into a power conference, as we saw first year. I mean, able to make the playoff. So I mean, huge stepping stone for SMU. I mean, obviously the excitement is there. They get their quarterback back. Um,
Yeah, Kevin
for
Jennings, he's
another,
back.
Kevin Jennings is back for another year. I mean, didn't end as he would have liked there. Kind of got destroyed at Happy Valley, but I mean, just overall ride. I mean, it was an awesome ride for the SMU. I don't know, what the expectations were for them for many Flasher. I was high on them, but I think they're well coached. They have a lot of offensive talent. I think the main thing is just now that they'll have a target on their back this year. No one's going
Hmm.
to take them lightly this year, so we're going to have to see, how do you respond when you have expectations? It's not the expectations aren't the biggest thing at SMU. So, for them to have these expectations and the excitement, what do they do with that? So,
No, yeah,
we'll see
absolutely.
about it.
That's what I had written down for them was, you got to prove last year wasn't a fluke.
Right.
Like you said, the target's on their back this year. No one's gonna, get surprised by them.
Mhm.
And yeah, and schedule a little tougher this year too. They get some of the
Yeah.
bigger teams. They have to play Miami. They do get that at home. They get Louisville at
Yeah.
home. They have to
Yeah.
go to Death
Clemson.
Valley. Yeah, they have to go to
Oh,
Death Valley, play Clemson. Of course, got their rival TCU on the road. That's an early game.
yeah. They
Out of
got
conference
Baylor
game with
too.
Baylor. Yeah, week 2.
Yeah.
So a solid schedule, man.
Yeah.
You know, also a trip, out west to Cal to end the season, which they should, beat
Right.
Cal, but still. Uh,
Yeah.
but they certainly have the talent and obviously well coached
Absolutely.
team, confident team. They definitely can make it back to the title game and
Right.
make it back to the playoff, and hope for a better result this year. But
Right.
Pony Expressor, they got some uh, skill positions they need to replace. Lost
Yeah.
Rashard Smith. That's big. Over 1,300 rushing yards last year, and he was, like believe like 300 some in receiving yards.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of production to miss on offense.
Right.
So they'll see where they get from. Receiving, they really spread the ball out well last
I
year.
do.
no,
I
they didn't
find
have
it.
one big receiver, but they had a lot of guys
Mhm.
that caught more than 20 balls. So it should be fine there.
I
And
like
like
their tight end too.
R.J. Maryland,
Russ,
yeah.
yeah, Russell Maryland's son. Yeah, he's
Hmm.
a talent. Showed a lot of upside there. So I mean, yeah, I think he could be a big part of the offense this year. There, and
Yeah.
when he gets on the ball, a lot of skills there. So I like, but yeah, definitely the conference schedule is a little tougher.
Hmm.
There, excuse me, out of conference last year ended up being much better than what people thought. Because I
Hmm.
mean, at the end of the day, they beat TCU, and TCU ended up being better than I think people thought at the end of the year.
Hmm.
And at the time, their loss last year to BYU looked bad, but then they ended up not being a bad loss there.
Yeah, not at
So,
all. It ended up being a
yeah,
understandable loss at the end of the day.
right, right,
But yeah, like we said, talent's definitely there for them to make another run at the ACC
right.
title and in the
It's just
playoff.
gonna be a little bit tougher there.
Yeah,
They
just.
play the big dogs this year. I mean, they have Miami, Clemson.
Mhm.
So we'll see. But I mean, Miami, it's a lot of questions there. So I mean,
Yeah,
how
well,
good are the game's gonna be?
yeah. Let's talk about the Hurricanes. Like 10-3 last year. Of course,
Right.
we're in not
Ah,
only
should have
the
been in the
should have
ACC
been in the
title game. Oh
playoffs,
my
should have made
God,
the ACC title game, but that
absolutely.
loss at Syracuse last
Mm,
week of the
mm,
season,
mm.
and lost two of their last three in the regular season.
Yeah,
Lost three of their last four overall. They lost the bowl
and that
game too.
defense was atrocious.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up for the defense this year, which should be
Yeah,
better. Uh, Mario Cristobal and his staff definitely tried to address that in the portal and practice,
yeah,
spring practice. They have to be better this year, and of
absolutely.
course the
Because
big. Mhm.
sadly, they wasted they wasted Cam Ward's. He had an amazing season last year.
Absolutely amazing, and that's the big thing this year. They got to replace him. They brought in Carson Beck, so kind of out of nowhere. Beck had declared for the draft, and then pulled his name and said he was going to Miami.
Yeah,
So it's obviously a real talented quarterback. You just got to, he has consistency issues. So it's
hmm
something they got to, uh, if they can get a handle on that, he'll certainly have weapons there.
right. Main thing too is what is his health gonna look like? I mean, he got hurt in the
Hmm.
SEC championship game. He's back practicing, but it's overall not that long of a time since he got hurt. So
Yeah, yeah.
how
So,
does that
what
how
was
does
his
that
injury? I can't
some of his
remember.
shoulder, I believe.
Shoulder, yeah. So, uh, hopefully, yeah, that's something you can, not as, as a quarterback, obviously that's huge. But a little less rehab time than maybe a knee injury or like
Yeah.
an Achilles, something
And
like
sometimes
that.
you just don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes too, it's
Mm-hmm.
once you actually start taking hits, because I'm sure he's not taking many hits.
Mm-hmm.
In the fall there, up until game time. It was a repair elbow. He had a UCL surgery. So,
Okay. Okay. And
so
the other big thing there is replacing some really talented guys, skill
oh,
position players as
absolutely,
well. Of
yeah.
course, no more Damian Martinez. He graduates. They lost
hmm
Xavier Restrepo, who was the all-time career receiver, and
I swear he was in Miami for like
mine.
40 years though.
And it felt like it. I mean, and it's crazy to that's the name out of all the amazing receivers that have come through that program. Xavier
Yeah,
Restrepo, all-time leader in
yeah,
yardage.
that's wild.
That's yeah, absolutely wild. But
Mhm.
they it's interesting. I don't know if I gave you 10 guesses if you could name the all-time career passing leader there. It is a
All-time passing leader.
uh-huh. It is a really random name.
It's gonna be something really stupid. Yeah, I don't.
It's
I mean, you
Brad.
would think someone
You remember Brad Kaya from like
Brad
2014 to
can't.
16?
Yes,
Yeah. He has just a few hundred more yards than Ken Dorsey.
that's
Um, and behind Ken Dorsey was Ja'Cory Harris. That's
Corey Harris. Wow.
interesting. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, Brett
Yeah.
Kaya, like, he was kind of an up and down dude. You never knew what you're gonna get from him.
And that
Um,
era too was that. I'm trying to think. 15, 16 was that the
that would have
first year
been
Mark Rick coached there for a couple of those
that was
years?
either Rick or that was Manny Diaz.
I think
That may
Diaz
have
was
been D.
after Rick,
Was
wasn't
he
he?
right?
That might have
I
been
don't
Al
remember.
Golden.
Al Golden.
That might have been the golden years there.
And that was a dude. I don't think he was as bad as what people wanted to make him to be. I think he just couldn't win the biggest games.
Yeah, and it's just he just wasn't what Miami wants to be, and that's a national title contender, a playoff team, and
But honestly, this is a team that has still not won the ACC.
yeah, insane. When the conference brought them and Virginia Tech in from the
Yeah.
Big East, and what
So
was that,
Al
oh
Golden
04 or something
was
like
the
that? Yeah.
coach from 11 to 15 in Miami.
Okay.
He went 6-6, 7-5, 9-4, 6-7. Start out the 15 season 4-3, 1-2 in conference, and I'm assuming he got fired.
Yeah,
That
that's not cutting it at Miami.
No.
Yeah, it's
Um,
insane that since it was like
yeah,
what 04 or somewhere around there where they entered the conference and they have not won the conference title.
no.
I don't have they even made
Ever
a
since
conference
that
title
Kellen, I
game.
swear, yeah, they did make the one a couple years ago. Is that where they got boat raced by Clemson? I
Maybe
think they.
I'm
I,
honestly
I
trying to
I'm
remember it.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they made one a couple years ago.
Okay.
They did. They did make a. They did make one, and I'm pretty sure Clemson boat raced them. I swear, Miami never was the same after that. Kellen Winslow Jr. I'm a soldier. I think just haven't gone well since that time for them overall. But Mario Cristobal at least has them where they're on the cusp. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously last year they should have been better. No reason they shouldn't have been in the playoff, but that defense was just atrocious.
Terrible.
I
Terrible.
mean, they obviously when things. I mean, they have their donors give money. So I mean, there are people that
Mm-hmm.
always are going to keep them NIL. I know that there's been some changes with the NIL with the 21 million. I don't still know how all that's going to get worked out. But we know that Miami has money. Obviously, they brought in Cam Ward last year when he was going to go to the draft. They were able to, get Carson Beck this year when he was going to go to the draft. Obviously, they threw big enough money to both of them that they thought, well, I'm gonna stay another year. So obviously it's big money. So they have the money when they want to have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just can they go out there and win? I mean, this is a team that still is still amazing. They have not won one ACC title.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've
It's
seen like
crazy.
Wake Forest win the ACC. We've seen some weird teams win the ACC. We've seen. I just
We've seen a Wake
don't.
Forest title since then, a Georgia
We've
Tech
seen a
title. Yeah.
yeah. Have we seen Pitt? Did Pitt win?
Yeah,
I
Pitt
know they
won
were.
just a few
Yeah,
years ago. Yeah.
yeah. So we've seen some teams that they yeah. So some weird stuff has happened there. I don't know why they've not been able to succeed. You know,
Yeah, especially some of those first few seasons in the ACC because they still had
yeah.
some amazingly
It's had
talented
some
teams.
talent. Yeah, some
Yeah.
very talented teams. They've just underachieved greatly. Um, and now it's about, do they have a guy that can lead them? Obviously, he's a great Mario Cristobal's known for being a great recruiter, but sadly, maybe hasn't won like he should have. People expected bigger things at Oregon. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Came to Miami. He seems to have them going in the right direction, but can he take them to that next level that they haven't been to? We still, the jury's still out on that completely. Because
Yeah,
I
and
don't think anybody knows or feels confident with Miami. Because it seems like once everybody jumps back on the Miami train, something derails there. So we,
yeah,
we
but
shall see.
No, yeah, exactly. It's just about getting over that hump, and
Yeah,
and if they do that, does it then just is it downhill from there, and they can just
right.
do they once they get over that hump, is does it just click?
Yeah,
Because they recruit
yeah,
really well. Cristobal's a hell of a
they
recruiter.
do. Yeah,
Uh, and that was one of the bigger things. Of course, he was Alabama's O line coach
yeah,
in what the mid 2010s, and but he was also
yeah,
just an amazing recruiter. As a guy that can really
absolutely.
close, and so that hasn't changed. They're bringing in talent. We mentioned what they lose, but they're going to have guys just come right in, fill
Yep.
that in. Plenty of talented skill guys. Really good. They got 15 starters back, 8 on defense,
Mm-hmm.
which that could be good or bad. But
Right. Depending how you
yeah,
look at it, but
uh, they got a new defensive coordinator this year.
I had to.
Corey Heatherman. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was Minnesota's last year. Um, that schedule, they're going to have to earn it this year. They start
yeah.
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame. Wow.
Yeah, that'll rivalry. They get Florida. That's always a great rivalry. They
Is
get both of
that
them.
is that
Yeah,
on? Is that like a the 30?
it's
Is that
September
the?
20th. Yeah,
Are they the? But that Notre Dame game, the 31st, is
it's
that?
a Sunday. It's one of the Sunday
It's a,
games,
so
or
it's
yeah,
a Sunday by itself game, so that's gonna have a lot of eyes on it for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's going to have a lot of eyes. Two
Yo,
programs that really want to make a statement,
yeah,
start the year.
yeah,
Like we said, they renew the rivalry with Florida.
yeah.
Um,
Get both. That's big. They get both those games at home. Not that Miami has the biggest the fans. Who
yeah,
knows about their fans? Now to be fair, I mean the stadium is what 30 miles away from campus. I mean
yeah. It's
the
ridiculous. Yeah,
the
and they
Hard Rock
do.
Stadium is nowhere near.
Yeah, in fairness, they do show up for big games.
They do.
But yeah, it's not the same as the Orange Bowl, man. That Orange Bowl
No, that
magic
old
was, yeah,
Orange Bowl was something fun. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean they should have a good turnout for the Notre Dame game, the Florida game. I mean,
Hmm.
in between that they have Bethune and South Florida. South Florida, one of those teams you never know.
Yeah, but
Um,
you have to handle business, and then
yeah, you have to.
uh,
They go to Florida State there.
but say tough road schedule in conference.
Yeah,
Kind of
at Florida State,
at
at
SMU, at Virginia Tech, at Pitt. That's
yeah, yeah.
none of those are guarantees.
No,
They still have Louisville. They at least get them in Miami on a Friday night. They get Syracuse in Miami for a chance of revenge there.
yeah,
Um, they do look out no Clemson on the schedule, so that's good.
no Clemson. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll have to earn it
But
this year for sure. But
they will. They
they
will.
definitely have the talent to be able to do it.
Yeah, you would have
Um,
to think.
mhm,
I mean, looking at this schedule, but really, there's a lot of unknowns. I mean,
mhm,
Notre Dame. I mean, we know that they, new quarterback. Um, new, they lost some pieces there.
mhm,
I mean, they're coming off their best season since '88. I mean, honestly, I
mhm.
mean, they made the national title
No,
game.
yeah.
So, but I mean, it's hard to redo that. So we'll see what the Irish do. I mean, you have a Florida team, a lot of expectations there, but can they put it together? I mean, Billy
Hmm.
Napier has done a good job in the recruiting. They ended the season great last year, but I mean, he was 6 inches from getting fired. I mean,
Yeah.
before he went on that amazing run at the end of the year, and they went on a hell of a run to close the season. But I mean, to start that season, I mean, they got blasted.
Hmm.
The Miami game, the A&M game. So I mean, we'll talk about them in our. But I mean, expectations are definitely there. But I mean, can Florida take it to the next level? So that'd be interesting. Florida State. I
Hmm.
mean, nobody really knows what Florida State is. I mean, they got a new quarterback, a new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator, the dude from Nebraska. So they should be good. They recruited well, but man, Mike Norvell, you think is on a super hot seat. Because
Hmm.
outside of that season 2 years ago, what has he done? I mean, it's been bad.
No.
So we don't
Yeah.
know about them. Louisville, new quarterback, well coached team, but again, but Louisville, I mean, they're always a tricky team.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're fighters. Well coached team with Jeff
Yeah.
Brom there.
I mean, I would think they beat Stanford. I mean, Stanford. I mean, the most interesting thing with them is that Andrew Luck hopefully will get that program back in line there as their GM. But until a little bit down the road, then of course the big game going to Dallas, SMU. That'll be a huge game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Syracuse. I mean, they're a team. I mean, they kind of had a magical run last year. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback situation, with it. I mean, but I think they got a was it front is it front
Fran Brown.
Brown?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fran Brown.
man. I think he'll be a hell of a coach. But I mean, he's still a young guy. I mean, this was his first head coaching job, and to come in and what he did last year was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So but can they repeat that? It's been a while since Syracuse has been a consistent football team
Yeah.
since Paul Pasqualoni, more or less. So, I mean, so there's a lot of questions on the schedule. I mean, but I would think that personally, I don't think Miami should be worse than 10-2.
No,
Maybe maybe
it's
9-3, but I think the expectations are they at least the ACC title game, which hasn't been very often.
no. I'm with you. Same thing you said about Clemson. I think we could say for them if we're not talking about Miami as a conference title and playoff contender in November, then something went wrong.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. And but we've seen it where Miami, once they've lost in past when they've lost the big game early in the season, they've
hmm
fallen off hard at times. So
Yeah.
what is their mental makeup gonna be?
Well, yeah, we
And the other
saw
thing
it.
with
Was it 2 years ago? After that, just terrible loss to Georgia Tech where they could have needed and
oh
instead
yeah,
fumbled and gave up. They had
they
started the
lost.
season 4-0, and after that they lost
Yeah,
5 games,
yeah. I mean
six
they
overall. They lost their bowl too. They
Avalanche.
haven't won a bowl game in a long time either.
Yeah. So that's crazy. But yeah, I mean they very much should be a contender in the ACC.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think that their schedule is tricky, but one that they at the end of the day, I think that they should should be good. But man, but crazy enough though, man. I mean, they could have two losses in their first four games there with Florida and Notre Dame. I mean, and at that
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
can't lose anything else.
And then yeah, and
And
then could
luckily,
still
now the
still
good
run
thing
the
though
table in
is,
the
I mean,
ACC.
the
So you
good
never
thing,
know.
yeah. So that's a good thing for them is neither one of those are conference games, so
Yeah.
doesn't hurt them there. So
But you figure for if you want to stay in the at large bid conversation, you have to split those
I
games
mean, you
at
have to at
worst.
least win
Yeah,
one of
worst.
those,
Yeah.
and then hope the bowl. And if you do lose to one, that whoever you lose to, whether it be Notre Dame or Florida, have a remarkable season.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
You don't want them losing many games too.
yeah,
All right, so I got two more teams in the contender tier here, and not necessarily that I think they're absolute, powerhouses, but teams when I look at, I'm like, you know what, these guys deserve to be talked about as someone who could get into that title game,
mhm.
and that's Georgia Tech and Louisville. Louisville, or let's start with Georgia Tech, of course. Brent Key, he's really got that program turning around. It's
Amazing coach,
yeah,
great. Seems like
great
a good guy.
coach. And it's funny because you look at his this will be his fourth season.
And nothing amazing record wise. I mean, it
No, yeah,
hasn't been phenomenal,
five and
but
seven, 7-6, 7-6. But at Georgia Tech, with the way they were before that, that's
yeah, they
huge.
were
A-
abysmal.
And not only that, but the way, I mean, look at that Georgia game from last year. Of course, they lost in the eighth overtime. Should have won
Yeah.
that game.
Oh,
We're up what
so many
17-0 at some
opportunities.
point. Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean they had, but yeah,
that's a game they haven't been competitive in a long time.
right.
And
So that
he's
was
got them
huge.
two straight one score games. The year before that they lost by 8 points at home, and they get
Yeah,
them back in Atlanta this year. Although it's in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, not Bobby Dodd, and on the Friday after Thanksgiving, I believe.
right.
But Georgia Tech, hey, they get a lot coming back. Haynes King is back. Jamal Haynes is back. They
Yeah.
did lose, of course. Eric Singleton transferred over
Yeah,
to
that was tough.
where did he go? Did
He
he?
went to Auburn.
Yeah, that's right. bastards.
That's the one thing with Georgia Tech. Anytime they have a great season, unfortunately, they're not a program that has money. Like
Yeah.
a lot of money. So when a big dog from the SEC comes calling for their talent, sometimes it's gonna be hard to keep those guys unless they really want to be there.
Yeah.
Just because they don't have the Auburn money, as we see. There's always gonna be someone, hey, come here, come here. So it's tough. But yeah, I mean, Brent Key seems to be a hell of a coach. They and Haynes King, if he could stay healthy, that's been his biggest thing. He's a talented guy, but he's had the health issues. He had it at A&M. He got it hurt some at his time at Georgia Tech, but he's a tough son of a bitch. Let me tell you,
He is, man.
and he
And
will run. He will run through any. He'll try to run through anybody, and maybe that's why he's done. Maybe not the most. As an offensive coordinator, you're like, bro, slide. Get out of bounds. I mean, he'll take a hit.
yeah. And then, behind him, they have Aaron Philo, not sure to say it, but,
Yep.
big arm kid. Saw some action last year. But it's really about the Hayneses, Jamal Haynes, the running back, Haynes
Yep.
King, quarterback, great
Absolutely.
runners. Jamal Haynes is shade under 1,000 last year. I think literally 5 yards short. But he is going to, he's back. Great line play, of course, under Brent Key. 14 starters back for him in total.
hmm
And
And
they get,
they're gonna be, and they're a tough team. They're gonna
yeah, real
you
tough. And they're just one of
you're gonna
those.
know that you were in a fight when you
Exactly.
play
They're one of
Georgia
those
Tech.
teams you play and you remember it. You feel it for that whole week.
Yeah.
And the schedule lightens up a little bit this year. They do not, they had no Miami, no Louisville, no SMU.
Interesting start to the schedule though. And going
Yeah,
to Colorado.
yeah, at Colorado on a Friday night. They get
That'll
Clemson
be
at
a lot of
home.
eyes on
Yeah,
that one because
yeah,
I
that'll
mean,
be
of
yeah.
course,
Two
the
teams trying to make a
post.
statement for different reasons.
Right.
Yeah, Georgia
Yeah. I
Tech
mean,
trying to make that leap. Colorado trying
Colorado.
to
We don't.
prove
We
that they were more
that
than Shador and Travis Hunter.
right. Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be huge there. Coach Prime's had a lot of health issues. My goodness.
Yeah, right.
Uh, but that'd be very interesting. And of course, it gave me game Gardner Webb, and then that Saturday the 13th, Clemson at home.
Clemson comes to Atlanta. Yeah, you get them at
Hmm.
home. You get
You know
Syracuse at
that.
home. You get Pitt at home. You get Virginia Tech at
Hmm.
home. So it's like
You get
you're
a lot of big games at home.
yeah, in Georgia, like we said, Georgia's technically home, even though neutral site. There'll be a
Interesting,
lot more Georgia fans there, but that
but it's a lot more Georgia fans even when it's at Bobby Dodd,
Abbott
honestly.
exactly.
So,
So yeah, it'll be
so that won't be no difference really.
and who
But
knows?
I
If
mean,
they say it's not out of the realm if you look at the schedule that Clemson could be their only loss going into that Georgia game, and if
absolutely.
you got a 10-1 Georgia Tech team, I bet their fans fill that stadium out.
Oh, they'll show up. I
Yeah,
mean, they're one of those programs that if they have a winning thing going, they'll show up. They
yeah,
may not be the most loyal, but if things are going well, they'll show up there. Um, so
but yeah, a fun team. One of those teams that kind of everybody looks at and roots
mm,
for. But yeah, moved on. I said the other team I had in the contender tier was Louisville.
mhm.
They 9-4 last year, 10-4 the year before that, and Jeff Brom's first 2 years. So he's really got his alma mater going the right direction.
Seems to be a hell of a coach.
Yeah, yeah. And, he what he did at Purdue and Western Kentucky before that. He
Kind of a
definitely,
quarterback whisper. I
yeah,
mean, Tyler Shelf went from basically the dude can't stay healthy and to the Saints. He's probably the Saints starting quarterback.
yeah, it definitely might be. And now he gets Miller Moss, yeah, a guy,
So,
highly touted guy that just never clicked at USC, had a lot of trouble staying
right.
on the field,
Hmm.
staying healthy, and now he gets him.
Yeah.
Isaac Brown's back, just amazing tailback there, ran for
Yeah.
1,200 yards last year. weapon in the passing game. They do got to replace some receivers there, but shouldn't be too big a problem. Tough schedule though. Starts out easy enough. You get Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green. Before you get into conference play, but then their conference schedule, you got to go at Pitt, at Miami, at Virginia Tech, at SMU. You also play Clemson. They at least get them at home. We mentioned that a Friday night game. And then, of course, in the season with rival Kentucky at home, who they finally beat last year. They, on a
Yeah.
little bit of a losing streak before last year, and they took
Hmm.
out some frustration. So, yeah, tough schedule for the Cards to navigate, but they're one of those teams, like we said, well coached. And if Miller Moss kind of realizes his potential, that's,
Yeah. That's a could
yeah.
be a could be a just a perfect spot for him there. Not
Hmm.
as much. Um, I, you know, some people just don't fare well at USC. I don't know if it's because of the LA market.
Yeah.
But it showed signs there. I mean, he had a hell of a game against LSU last year, and then
Yeah.
things really didn't go, and then he got injured somewhat, and so, yes. But I mean, if anybody's gonna get him going, it's gonna be Braun. If he can't get you
Hmm.
a talented quarter, get you to your full potential, who can honestly.
Yeah.
So I mean, perfect spot I would say. But yeah, I mean, some tough games there. But I mean, you know, I would not be shocked. That might be a huge game. That October 17th game against
Hmm.
Miami. I think they might go. I don't see any reason why they don't go into that game undefeated.
Yeah, no, for sure. Pitt will be a tough place to play, but they
All right.
absolutely can and probably should beat Pitt.
All right.
And
Virginia,
after
they're,
that, then you get a bye, and then you play Miami on that Friday night.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be a huge one because that back half of the schedule is tough.
yeah,
After that Miami game, they get Boston College at Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson at SMU, Kentucky. So they,
yeah. The November is tough
yeah.
playing SMU and Clemson like that, but
But yeah, this is a team. Like we said, I think the biggest story is can Miller Moss realize potential? It's funny
yeah,
enough. He's actually beaten Louisville before a couple years ago. They played in the bowl
yeah. They
game,
played in
and
the bowl game, didn't they? Yeah.
yeah, he beat him in the Holiday Bowl. So
Hmm.
can they can Jeff Brom get the best out of Miller Moss?
Yeah.
Like we said, Isaac Brown's a just stud running
That
back
was
there,
one.
so they can lean on him, and they
I
have one
mean,
of
we
the
saw.
better home field advantages in the
Oh yeah,
country.
that crowd it was crazy. I mean,
Hmm.
they're still always known as a basketball school, but that
Hmm.
they're very underrated.
They
That
are a sports school, man. From my
yeah, they
time
they
living in
they
that
loved it.
city, yeah, they just
Yeah,
love
they
their.
they love their cards.
Yeah, exactly. It don't matter the sport; they show out
Yeah,
for it.
they show out there. They get rowdy. I mean, and I mean, teams know that. I mean, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they win the ACC, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you can't really
But
say
they are an upset or two away from
yeah being
There's not a
right
game on
there
this schedule that I don't think they
can hang in.
can't win. Yeah, exactly. Even the Clemson game,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, hey man, that's in Louisville. It's a Friday night.
we've
That
seen
crowd's
some
gonna be
crazy things there Friday
popping.
night.
And like we said,
Friday
they
night in Louisville is not a fun place to go for
anybody.
big
Yeah.
big teams.
Well, and like we said, I mean, hell, they beat Clemson in Clemson last year. So
Yeah,
ran all over
so
them. Just ran all over them
yeah,
too. So yeah, I think yeah, should be fun. One funny bit of trivia here. I'm looking. I got my Phil Steele magazine. He lists all the career leaders. Two of Louisville's three career rushing leaders are both quarterbacks. Um,
Mm.
it's Lamar and then Malik Cunningham. Uh,
Malik Cunningham. I hadn't thought about him in a little bit,
yeah,
but he was actually
was Lamar's
yeah, no,
successor. Yeah, and he ran for
yeah, he was.
3,100 yards. Lamar ran for
Wow.
4,100. Um,
Dude, Lamar was so special in college. My goodness.
he
I
was,
mean,
man.
as good as he was in the NFL, he was just
He
man.
came out of
That,
nowhere. Like
yeah,
yeah. Um,
that game against Florida State.
yeah. That was
Oh
one. Yeah.
goodness.
Um,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, here's a throwback name: all-time career passing leader in Louisville history. Quarterback from the late '90s, '96 to '99. Got a guess?
It's gonna. I should know it.
Chris Redman.
Chris Redman. Yeah.
And then second place would be Jeff Brom's brother, Brian.
Yeah. I remember when Brian Brom had all the hype.
Yeah, he
Um,
was there during those wild Big East years when
dude,
Rutgers was up there, the Steve Slayton, Pat White, West Virginia teams,
dude, those
Brian Kelly at
ESPN,
Cincinnati. Yeah.
those ESPN Thursday night games when there's always a Big East matchup,
hmm
that used to be must-watch TV.
Always a fun time. I remember that Rutgers Louisville game. I think I was at a concert and it was attached to a sports bar and in between sets and then right as soon as the show over, me and the buddy I was with, he had actually some money on the game too. We were
Yeah.
running over there and his wife was like, "What are y'all doing?" Like Clemson or Louisville Rutgers, and she's like, "Aren't
What
they
the hell?
bad?" Yeah, we're like, "No, they're actually great."
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's great,
Yeah.
man. I just love that Big East.
Well,
But yeah,
that's-
just fun trivia there. Let's go to our wild cards, unless you think you have another team that should be in the contender tier.
No, I think
Okay.
that's
Okay, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or no, just 7, excuse me, 7 teams in this wild card tier.
yeah.
And these are teams that could, make a surprise run at the conference
Right.
title, or they could go 3-8, or
Almost.
3-9,
Yeah.
whatever. Just kind of never know. And let's start with the ultimate. We've already mentioned them, but the team that just nobody knows what's going to be this year, the ultimate wild card in the country, and it's Florida State.
Yeah.
12-0 regular season a couple years ago. Won the conference title game, but did not get
Mhm.
selected to the 14 playoff because
Yeah.
Travis Hunter was hurt. And of course, just got swamped by Georgia in the bowl game.
Yeah.
And then last year, come in with a bunch of hype, preseason number 10, lose that game in Ireland to Georgia Tech. You're like,
And then just
okay,
imploded.
maybe a fluke. And then go the next week, they lose to Boston College
Yeah.
on Labor Day, Monday
Labor Day,
night
put eyes on them.
at home, just run all over. And you're like, man, what's going on? Lose to Memphis the next week. Like, okay, this is insane. What is actually happening?
Yeah.
And then, beat.
Then they lost to Duke for the first time in school history.
Yeah.
First time ever losing to Duke last year.
You get
I mean,
smacked
they
around
beat.
by SMU, got beat up by Miami, North Carolina, Notre Dame beat them 52-3.
Good God,
Just, phew.
just
Yeah.
tragic. And I mean, that's a program, man. That they to see last year was just wild. But honestly, man, this whole Mike Norvell tenure out of that 24th season, or 23 season, excuse me, has been terrible. I mean, it really has. I mean, that was his. I mean, they've had some bad years.
Well, it hasn't, he did win 10 games in 22 as well.
They didn't. Okay.
They did have the thing that year was that weird. They had a losing streak in the middle of the season where they lost to Wake Forest, NC State, and then Clemson all back to back, but then rebounded and won the rest of their games.
Mhm.
He's I just had 33-27 overall at Florida State.
Right.
Of course, he came over from Memphis, took over program. Florida State, when Jimbo left, had really just left that cupboard bare. They had the weird thing with Willie Taggart. He just never really worked out there.
No.
They bring in Gus Malzahn this year. Kind of surprised he stepped down from his head coach job at UCF to take the
Yeah.
offensive coordinator job. So they're gonna
Which
have
is
the
interesting.
the Gus Bus on offense. He's got a quarterback, Thomas Castellanos, who's kind of seems like a prototypical Gus quarterback. Good runner, certainly running his mouth this offseason.
Yeah. I mean, I'm smarter than that. I mean, people, oh, he's so dumb for that. But you got to like his confidence. I mean,
Oh,
I
for
like
sure.
it. I love it. Actually, I think it's good. I mean, it might be great billboard material for our defense. I mean, he said a lot, but I think it's fun. I mean, he's coming in and basically said, "Hey, I'm here to save jobs as well." So I was like, "Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
he." But I mean, honestly, I mean, he was having a pretty good year. Didn't exactly get along, I guess, with
Bill O'Brien,
their
yeah.
Bill O'Brien, but that's not anything new. It's been plenty of people who haven't gotten along with Bill O'Brien at one time or another. There, I mean, so um, but I mean, he definitely has potential to be a hell of a quarterback. I mean, probably doesn't have a better offensive coordinator than what he has there. I mean, Gus knows how to use a mobile guy there. I mean, honestly, I mean, he took Marshall and
Mm-hmm.
made him a star, and he was not good. Honestly, I
No, yeah.
mean, but what he did with him in 2013 was amazing. I think Thomas Castellanos could have a good year there, but I mean, it's a lot of nobody knows, and that that's they got a new defensive coordinator. Got
Mm-hmm.
the guy from Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska's had a great defense the last couple of years. Even when they've lost games, but their defense has been lights out a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time, and that's huge because we know last year that defense was terrible. Two
Mm-hmm.
years ago, that defense was pretty legit. I mean, obviously they after their quarterback got hurt. I mean, that defense pretty much won them like the ACC championship game
Mm-hmm.
against Louisville. But I mean, so it's about finding out if they're how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously they're not nearly as bad as what that record showed last year.
No, no. There's too
But
much
I think
talent on
this is
this
a
team. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, obviously the proud it's a proud program has had some down years since Jimbo left. And did not exactly the best situation when he left there. I mean, a couple was kind of bare. Yeah, the Willie Taggart thing didn't work. Mike Norvell seemed like a great fit. I mean, he came had Memphis rolling, and it's been kind of a mixed bag there. More bad than good, and I think a lot of people expected coming into it. And I think he's on the hot seat this year. I think he has to win. I think he has to win 8+ games to save his job.
No,
And in losses, he has to be competitive.
no, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think uh, he's got to probably pull at least one upset. And like you said, or at the very least, he's got to be really competitive in those losses, and
Yeah,
it's got to look like, okay, like this is what this team should look like. We're in the right
yeah,
direction.
absolutely.
And but that schedule doesn't do them many favors. Of course, a
No.
big opener. They host Alabama to start.
And it, and that's the thing with that game. I think for both teams, and we'll just
Mm-hmm.
talk from a Florida State perspective. Win or lose that game, you have to be able to move on to the next week. And that's gonna be the big thing for that, because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, more than likely, Florida State loses that game. Main thing with that though is how did you look in that game,
Mm-hmm.
and was it competitive? We're going into the fourth quarter. Did you have Alabama a little worried?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you get slaughtered? But more importantly, how do you respond from that game?
Mm-hmm.
If you lose that game, you still have the lot of 98% of your schedule left. But how do you
Mm-hmm.
respond from that? Now they have some games after that to kind of build their confidence back
Mm-hmm.
or build on the momentum if they should pull that upset. You play East Texas A&M and M and Kent State. So I mean, two games either way should help them get ready for conference play.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Virginia. I mean, I don't know how good Virginia is going to be this year. They're a team that I think their coach is kind of on the hot seat as well. Um,
Yeah, you can't lose that game if you're Florida
no,
State,
you
though.
have to win
Yeah.
that game. And on October 4th, Miami at home.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's the
think
big one.
that's when you got to win that.
Well,
You have
either
to win that
way,
game.
you have to go into that game at worst 3-1.
Oh, absolutely.
So that
You,
if you do lose it, say it's a close game, then you're 3-2,
yeah,
only one conference loss, and then you have a chance. But they really can't afford any more than that
no,
before November because that
no.
they get Wake at home to start their homecoming
You
game,
go
which they
to
should win.
Clemson.
Yeah, two Clemson, Virginia Tech and then you end the season at NC State at Florida.
Yeah,
That's
back
that's
to
a
back road
yeah, it's
games.
it's a tough November, man.
Oof. Yeah,
But other than that, the schedule they do avoid SMU and Louisville, so there's that. But uh, like you said, that's not
it's not an easy schedule.
yeah. And if like you said, if they want 8 wins, where do they, you got East
Where did those
Texas,
come?
A&M,
Yeah,
Kent State, Virginia, Stanford, Wake. Let's say those are definite wins.
so that gives you what,
Uh,
five,
yeah,
one,
that's
two,
that's
three,
five right there. So then
five
that means you
wins.
got to pull three from Alabama, Miami, Pitt, Clemson, Virginia Tech, NC State, Florida. So that's
And again, I
yeah,
mean, those are some of those teams we don't know about.
exactly
Virginia
yeah,
Tech,
yeah. Who knows?
they've been
Virginia
kind
Tech
of
might be
flound. They've been
trash
up
by
and
then.
down. They've been
Yeah.
floundering. They've been up and down. But I think you got to win. You have to win that game at NC State. I mean, they're well coached, but they're a team that's kind of been up and down. They're a team that's always got another kind of hype, and then things don't go. Someone gets hurt, or they don't always live up to the expectation themselves. But really, I mean, it's going to come down to all the games that are toss-up games. You pretty much have to win. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to beat Pitt, you
Hmm.
have to beat Stanford, you have to beat Wake, Virginia Tech, NC State. Those are games you have to win. And then as far as the big dog games, you have Alabama, Miami, Clemson, and Florida.
If you're Florida State, you have to win at least two of those.
You have to win two of those, and then the other two for Norvell to keep his job, you got to be competitive. You can't get housed against Alabama. You can't get housed against Clemson, and then end the season against Florida. You know, how are you? Yeah, but they're just so there's we just don't know, but that might be an
Yeah.
advantage for them because you look. I mean, what? I mean, you see what? I mean, we know teams know what Gus does, but I mean, they got to go look at UCF tape. But what does that tell you? Not a whole lot because Castellanos wasn't there. It's
Yeah.
a whole new program, better team. Ron Castellanos there. You can look at some of his stuff at Boston College, see what his strengths are. But again, different team, different players around him. The defense was trash last year. New defensive coordinator. They're going to be, I think, much better this year. So that may be an advantage for them as there's so much unknown about Florida State that may help them long term. At least to start the season because people just don't know.
No. Yeah. Like I said, they're the wild card in the country this year.
Absolutely. Because you could see them being, if things click, and I mean, you could see them easily. They could be a 10-2, 9-3 type team.
Yeah.
They could also be a 4-8 type team. Who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. It's
Neither would really shock me. Crazy enough.
no. Yeah. They all eyes will be on the Seminoles for sure, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
we'll talk more about that opening game when we do our Alabama
Absolutely.
preview.
Right.
But yeah, let's move on. Let's go to Pitt. For Pitt, I had are we going to get first half Pitt or second half Pitt from last year? Do we get the team
Right.
that started 7-0, or do we get the team that lost their last
Hmm.
6 games? Of
Yeah.
course, I think a lot of that is about is can Eli Holstein stay healthy? Can Desmond Reed stay healthy? If they can
Hmm.
keep those two guys healthy, they were a hell of a
Yeah.
1-2 punch. They get 16 starters back. Obviously, Pat
That's
Narduzzi
huge.
always is going to have his guys playing tough.
He's a old school, no nonsense type guy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And his defenses are always hard hitting. They get
Yeah.
after the quarterback.
Physical.
They get in the big games they have. They get them at home. They get Miami at home. They get Notre Dame at home. They get Louisville at home. do got to go on the road for a couple tough ones too. They get Georgia Tech toward the end of the year. They got to go to Atlanta. They go to Tallahassee, and then the backyard brawl. They go down to
Backyard brawl.
Morgantown. So,
Yeah, I'm glad that game is back because that
oh
game,
yeah, yeah,
it's a fun one.
yeah. Love to see that game back. Should have never went away.
No.
Um, but yeah, it just boils down to can yeah, Holstein and Reed stay on the field, and then can
Yeah.
the whole team just put last year's collapse behind them and
Yeah.
um,
It's gonna come. Yeah. I mean, if they
play to
can
their
stay
potential. Yeah.
healthy.
hmm
Yeah, but that schedule is tricky.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot of tough games on there. Like I said, they get a few of them at
Blue. I
home, and then
mean,
they get a couple of tricky road
right.
games too.
So
So
I mean, they start. I mean, their first, of course, big test is that backyard brawl. We don't know about West Virginia. I mean, they've kind of been
yeah,
up and down a little bit, but they get their guy back, who really made them relevant. But
mm,
you know, we don't know if that return will be great or not. But I mean, that's a interesting game. Louisville always interesting. We know how
mm-hmm,
good we've talked about Louisville. We know how good they are. A Boston College game. Who knows really? I mean, Boston College. I mean, they had moments last year, but I mean,
mm-hmm.
honestly, Bill O'Brien. I still don't understand why college teams have been so big on him.
Hmm.
I just don't think. I still don't think he fits the college. From
Yeah, I think. Well, and of course, as Alabama fans, will always have that
yeah,
kind of colored
yeah.
glasses toward him.
Because I always
Yeah.
feel like that that for Bryson him not to ever win a title, but that's yeah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's an Alabama thing. But that'll be still a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
And then that October 11th game in Tallahassee. At that point, who knows what either team is going to be? I mean, so that is interesting. But to go back to back, Florida State two, and then two Syracuse. That's a tough
Mm-hmm.
little spurt there. Two weeks in a
Yes,
row there.
Syracuse coming off of a bye too.
Yeah,
So a
so
week
that's
after,
tough.
you never know.
Could
Yeah,
be a
that's a
big game. So
no, yeah, for sure. And then that we mentioned the last threes. That's a killer.
yeah,
Notre
Notre
Dame at
Dame.
Georgia Tech, and then Miami to end your season. So
Yeah,
if they're not, uh, if they're looking to try to compete for ACC title or compete for a bowl, they better have
yeah.
something. They better
They
have their
better
wins
have.
before that last three.
Yeah, because that's tough. But I mean, you
Mhm,
look at that schedule. And after Duquesne and Central Michigan, maybe West Virginia this year because they're implementing a lot of new things.
mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of toss. Maybe Stanford.
Yeah,
That's a lot of toss-up games.
yeah, no,
That's a lot of games that you can't give them. I
mhm.
mean, yikes.
No, yeah,
That's a tough run of games.
it is. But let's
So
move
I
on
mean,
to the Tar Heels in North Carolina. Obviously, another wild card that the nation's eyes will
yeah,
be on because Bill Belichick is coaching.
the wild.
Uh,
That's
it's
super wild.
absolutely something I never thought I'd say would be Bill
No.
Belichick coaching college. Um, it's weird, and of
Yeah,
course, this has been a weird all season with all the stories of his girlfriend and her possible
yeah,
involvement. And some of those stories, because his buyout was structured weird, where after June 1st
yeah.
it went down
First,
so much, and
that's yeah.
there were theories that he was just going to step down and let his son take over because Steve Belichick came
Came over as a DC, right?
yeah, DC. Freddie Kitchens is his offensive
Huh.
coordinator.
Yeah.
So that's interesting there. Old Freddie, man. But
Been
yeah, it's
around.
just such a it's a wild card, man, and it's a interesting schedule.
Mhm.
It's favorable. I'll say that.
Yeah.
They start with a Monday night game against TCU at home. And
Yeah.
then they go at Charlotte and then Richmond at home and then at UCF before they jump into the conference play.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
they should be three and one. At worst case scenario, 3-1 going
at
into that.
worst, yeah, at worst.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
4-0.
and
But
then they
I
get,
think I think TCU is gonna be a good team. But yeah,
mhm,
worst 3-1, 4-0 possibly going into that home game against
yeah,
Clemson.
they get Clemson. Both teams coming off a bye. They get a bye after that Clemson game too.
And they go to Cal. I think Cal's going to take a step back.
Yeah, sure. And we'll talk about them in a second too.
I mean,
But yeah,
Virginia.
other
I
than
mean,
that, it's not, you got to go at Syracuse.
mhm,
Of course, you play rival at NC State to end the year.
right.
But you get Duke at home, Stanford,
Hmm.
Virginia at home. So those are really beatable teams. At
And
Wake
Wake is,
Forest.
well, Wake's falling off.
Yeah, Wake's, new coach this year. So
Yeah,
at Syracuse on a Friday night. So that could be,
it's always tough.
yeah, it could be interesting. But like we said,
Halloween
that,
too.
they're breaking in a
Yeah.
new quarterback too. We'll talk about them in a second. But, hey, no SMU on that schedule. No Miami. No Louisville.
Yeah. You get
Uh,
Clemson at home.
yeah, you get Clemson. You get your biggest, by far, your biggest game and it's at home. So
Yeah.
who knows? This is just no one really knows what they're gonna look like.
No, I mean, I think the thing that makes me most mad about it
Mhm,
is, Mac Brown. It seemed like, he was fighting to get any type of money. Please, we need money. We can't,
mhm.
he came in, but, after the NIL stuff changed, I mean, they fell off a little bit there. And he was begging, come on, give me some money. And then he got rid of them. Then their pocketbooks open up for Bill Belichick. It's kind of tough how they ended the Mac Brown, considering that they could have gave him the same money. He could have done the same thing.
Yeah,
But very interesting to see what Bill Belichick, old school mentality, does in today's college game. Obviously, he's going to run a very NFL type ship there. Will that work at the college level? I don't know. Does he have the needed empathy for the college game? Because I mean, obviously, it's different than NFL. You're still have a lot of young guys there. When was the last time Bill Belichick really coached a 18-year-old?
yeah.
you know, it's a lot of growing pains. So I mean, can that hard, you know, eh, what we know from him, obviously from his days in the Patriots, is not going to work in college.
No, yeah, and but you gotta give respect to it.
Right. I mean,
That
he,
the greatest NFL coach of all time, arguably, and maybe
yeah.
not arguably.
And I mean, I mean, no matter how it goes, I mean, obviously you know, it's, it's going to be all eyes on North Carolina. I mean, they've never probably had this much hype in a long, maybe ever,
Hmm.
for football. I mean, just because of Bill Belichick. I mean, it's a win-win situation because either you're going to win and it's going to be epic, or B, hey, I mean, it didn't work out, but man, we swung to the fences and we did our best. We brought in the biggest name possible to be the coach. I mean, and kudos to them actually landing Bill Belichick. I mean, I don't think before it happened anybody would have ever thought, A, the Bill Belichick would be in college, B, that he would go to Chapel Hill out of all places.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So,
So yeah,
I mean,
just
kudos to them for landing them, but it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out there. I mean, obviously, some of the stuff from the summers died down a little bit. Um, I don't know how big any of that really was or is in the as far as how it affects North Carolina.
hmm.
Um, but yeah, it'll be very interesting.
No, but
I
yeah,
think
let's.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will. And let's move down Tobacco Road, NC State. Dave Dorn there entering year 13. Kind of just a steady 8-9 win team. Had a little drop
Yeah.
off last year, only won 6 games. So they're looking to kind of bounce back to
Hmm.
their standard there. They get a lot of return and production back.
They
They
do.
get C.J. Bailey back at quarterback, and he really
Hmm.
flashed at times last year. They get their leading rusher back. They get 2 leading receivers back.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of return and production. Um, Schedule up and down. Got some tough road games. You got to go at
Right.
Duke, at Notre Dame, at Pitt, at Miami. Um,
Whew.
you get
Yeah.
Florida State at home. You get Georgia Tech at home.
Hmm.
Um, Out of conference is pretty easy. We mentioned Notre Dame, but they
Yeah.
also have East Carolina to open the season, and then Campbell. So there's 2 games they probably should win.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like we said, Dave Dorn, they built a solid expectation there.
Yeah,
About 8, 9 win seasons, which they were just doing forever until last year.
yeah.
Um,
And I
so it's
think
just,
that, man,
mhm,
the amount of talent that they've put into the NFL over the last decade, well, since
mhm.
Dave Dorn has taken over, pretty phenomenal.
Yeah,
Especially on the defensive side. I mean, they've put a
absolutely,
lot
yeah.
of amazing talent into the NFL. And not a,
Mhm,
not a hotbed of, you don't think of NC State in football a lot of the time, but they've had quite the run of talent there.
mhm,
They've had years where they've had high expectations and injuries have kind of plagued
mhm.
them at times. But yeah,
And
they're
I think the big thing for them too would be getting back to being competitive in those big games against
yeah,
the powerhouses.
yeah,
They used to be a
absolutely.
team that was either
He
going to
didn't
pull
want to
the
play.
upset or at least scare the hell out of a team. And then
Absolutely.
last year in their big games, they're blown out by Tennessee, blown out by Clemson.
Yeah.
Did
Weird
put a
loss to
scare into
Wake
Georgia Tech.
Forest.
Yeah, weird
Yeah.
loss to Wake as a favorite.
Syracuse. I mean, they were there in that game.
Yeah,
Um,
close
10-point loss
losses
to
to Duke and
Duke.
Georgia Tech. Yeah, but
Mm.
like you said, it's just
Lost a
about getting
bowl
back
game.
to their standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's funny enough, lost a bowl game to East
I
Carolina.
guess
So,
who they're playing, so they can
you know,
get revenge there.
what wasn't there like a lot of fighting in that game or something too? So that could be
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I think
I think it was a
there was
lot of
some
animosity in that
going
one.
on there. So that could be an interesting. That's an interesting first
Yeah,
week game to keep your eye on. A
yeah.
Thursday night game.
East
So yeah,
Carolina,
hmm
you know, um,
always wanting to
probably a
prove
lot
it
of
to the
those.
bigger. Yeah,
Right, one of those schools that, and they've had some talented. They've had some interesting runs there, but yeah, those guys that feel like they got kind of shunned by the ACC in-state talent, so in-state team. So yeah, so that definitely a lot of angst there. So that'll be a fun one to start the season. But
Pack.
yeah,
Let's stay on Tobacco Road. Duke. Great year, and Manny Diaz's first year last year, 9-4.
mhm.
Um, won the games they should have won. Lost the games they should have lost. But put a scare. Took SMU to overtime.
Should have
Uh,
beat. There's no reason. I don't know
yeah,
how SMU
should
won
have
that
beat them.
game.
Blew that
Honestly.
game. And then the next week, had Miami kind of on the ropes for a lot of that game till Miami
Yeah.
pulled away late.
Right.
Um, but Manny Diaz is, he's really, you can tell he learned from his experience at Miami.
Yeah.
After we went back to defense
And
coordinator for
this
a
is
couple years.
a
Yeah.
this is a I think a good place for him there. Because I
No,
mean, what
yeah,
are the
yeah.
expectations of Duke? I mean, if he goes eight
Hmm.
and four, 9-3, I mean, he could be a Duke for as long as he wants to be there.
Yeah, winning record every year. And they bring in a big transfer, Darian Mensah from Tulane.
Yeah, they spend
Um,
money, a lot of
yeah,
money.
spent money. He's a hell
Yeah,
of a quarterback, and they'll actually go to Tulane third week of
yeah,
the
that'll be
year. So,
interesting.
yeah, that'll be an interesting one there.
They have an
Ska-
interesting start to the season. Back to back
hmm
games, Illinois at home. That'll be huge. I mean,
Yeah, they
Illinois
get.
with all those expectations coming
Hmm
into Durham. What do they do in that game? Then the next week going to Tulane. So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. Yeah, they start with, of course, Elon, so that should, easy win there. But
Yeah.
overall, the schedule kind of falls favorably for them. They do have to go
Yeah.
at Clemson November 1st, but
Hmm.
they get Georgia Tech at home in the middle of October, and then other than that, they don't have any of the big guys.
Yeah, no SMU, no Miami.
Yeah, no SMU, no Miami, no Louisville. So it's there. Their road games aren't the the most difficult. They got to go cross country to California, but Cal's not great team. They got to go up to Syracuse, but Syracuse is
We
beatable.
don't know. Yeah.
And then of course they play rival North Carolina in Chapel Hill, but they go at UConn. That's
Yeah.
it's it's there for them to get back to a bowl game and
Right.
kind of match last
Yeah.
year's win total. So
Yeah. I mean,
um,
eight or nine wins is definitely in the realm of possibility for sure
yeah,
for this
but
Duke
we'll
team.
we'll know a lot about this team by the end of
Oh
September.
yeah,
Like you
for
said,
sure.
those first four games: Illinois at Tulane, NC State at Syracuse.
That's
So
that's tricky. That is a
yeah,
tricky run
if
there.
they get out of September at 5-0, then that's
Oh,
you know,
whoa, well, yeah. You
yeah,
got a serious team there.
yeah, exactly.
Even four
Uh,
and one, I think would be
hmm
pretty good there. So
No, I agree. Yeah. Um, yeah, let's move on to Virginia Tech. What I have for them is just, will they ever return to that Frank the Beamer
yeah,
years glory? They've been
yeah.
searching for it for so long and just have not been able.
No, they've shown time. I mean, at times you think they're back, and then it doesn't
But
click.
yeah, if you look at the results from the last 5-6, 6-7, 3-8, 7-6, 6-7, they just cannot get over that hump.
No, yeah, the heartbreaking loss last year to Miami was still
Yeah, right.
questionable.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows?
SML.
Oh, no, I don't know about that one. Yeah, they're one of the, but they're a proud program. I think what we've learned from all this is,
Hmm.
man, Frank Beamer might be one of the most underrated dudes of all time. He gets a
Oh,
lot of, I
for
mean, he gets a
sure,
lot of
for sure.
respect, but I mean, what he did in Blacksburg, man, just as we've seen, it has been hard to duplicate what he had going there. And honestly, I mean, he has an interesting start to the season there. I mean, we start off with South Carolina
Hmm.
at
Being
at home.
that game's actually being played in Atlanta.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
That is a
Yeah,
neutral
that's
site.
one of
Yeah.
those Sunday night games.
Okay. Yeah. So that I mean, and don't know if they win that game, but honestly, I mean, if they win that game, that's huge considering
That's
all
a
the hype that South Carolina is getting with Lenora Sellers back. I mean,
hmm
people have, a lot of people have South Carolina high. But we'll talk about them more do our SEC stuff. But yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech, I mean,
hmm
you got to be competitive in that game. You don't want to get blown out on national TV.
hmm
Then the next week, Vanderbilt comes to town, a game that you
Yeah.
guys lost last year. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, who knows? I mean, Vanderbilt obviously better than what they were, but I
Hmm.
mean, who knows how that game goes? I expect a close one there, but and if you could at least get one of those two games over the SEC team, that would be huge for the
Hmm.
program. If you could get both of them, whoa, watch
Yeah,
out.
because then you're next to Old Dominion and Wofford, so you can
Yeah,
if you can start out 4-0 heading into conference play, then
yeah,
against a
that'd be
schedule
amazing.
that's not terrible. I
Not
mean,
terrible.
the road games against Georgia Tech and Florida State, but
Get Miami at home.
yeah, no Clemson, no SMU. They get Louisville and Miami at home.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, it's
Now we
it's there for
know.
Brent Pry. Of course,
Yeah.
they talented quarterback there, and Kyron Drones. He was injured a lot
Oh yeah.
last year, so
But
yeah.
when he's healthy, yeah, I mean we've seen him
Hmm.
put up. He's talented guy.
Yeah.
Um, might be one of the more talented dudes in the ACC. Um,
Tough
for
dude.
sure.
He was playing through a stress fracture in his foot and a,
Yeah,
MCL
that's
injury
crazy.
last year, so he's a tough
Yeah,
guy.
absolutely.
So Blacksburg, they're really hungry to get back to that top tier of the ACC.
And they're gonna show up, show out. I mean,
Yeah, one
end
of
of
the
the
toughest places to play
Sandman's
in the
one
country.
of
Yeah.
the coolest things in college football.
Hmm.
But man, I, it's one of those programs you want to see be good because man, when we were kids and in college and Virginia Tech was serious. You want to see them get back to that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be it's it hasn't been easy over the last couple of years, but man, if the pride can get it done there, you know, you would have. I mean, I think 7-5, 8-4 is what they should be shooting for. If they can do
Hmm.
better than that, more power to them there. Um, but you know, you want to get to a bowl game, um, and you just want to be competitive in all your games there.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah,
you want
you
to
don't want to get blown out and either
especially
those.
that first game because that's going to be
Yeah.
all eyes on them. It's that
Hmm.
Sunday afternoon there, South Carolina. I mean, they're all they'll have that window to themselves more or less. So you want to
Hmm.
look good in that game against South Carolina, even if you do lose there. Um, yeah, but there's a lot of games that they should gonna be there. You would have to think they NC State on the road. Sometimes Raleigh's a tough spot, but I mean you got to look competitive there. I think you have to beat Wake, Georgia Tech. That's a tough game. You got to beat Cal.
Hmm.
At the end of the year, I think you have to beat Virginia, and
Hmm.
you have some, But that stretch of Louisville, Florida State, Miami, it's a tough one.
And that's that Virginia game is one that they historically have dominated. They
Yeah,
won 4 in a row, and they've won 19 of the last 20 in that series.
right. Yeah. So, but you gotta, you
Mhm.
have that stretch. I mean, Old Dominion, Wofford, Wake, um,
You get Cal at home.
Cal,
Yeah, so there's a
Cal,
lot of games
Virginia. So
that you
that's five.
should
That's
absolutely
five. I
win.
think that they have
Yeah,
to win.
yeah.
Vanderbilt's a toss-up game, but I mean, Vanderbilt was that a one-year thing?
Hmm.
You know, and obviously Virginia Tech's looking to get revenge on them at home, so
Hmm.
that'll be. I think it should be an entertaining game, just like last year's game was.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, a lot of questions there, but you just want to see it return back to what it was because when they, I don't know, they're just a fun program, great home atmosphere. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, sure. Let's go last team in the wild card tier here. Syracuse, the Orange. Fran Brown, we mentioned, great job in his first year
Absolutely. I
head
mean,
coach
first
in
time
there
being a
last
head
year.
coach.
Yeah, first time being a head coach. 10 win season. Of course, the big
Hmm.
upset in Miami to close the year. Didn't get it done in the bowl game against Washington, or did get it done. Yeah, they beat the hell out of Washington in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Their three
Got the
losses,
most out of their quarterback.
yeah, yeah. Kyle McCord just looked absolutely wonderful for them this year. They, he's moved on. So they'll break in a new quarterback this year, see what they can do. Not a lot of starters coming back for them. Only 8, only 2 on offense.
Hmm.
But he, like I said, he's a good coach, vicious to go at Clemson, at SMU, at Georgia Tech, at Miami, at Notre Dame.
Mm.
That is just brutal, man. That is, I mean, that's
That's,
brutal.
yeah, it is absolutely brutal.
So if they can get back to a bowl game, I think even just this year with that schedule and the losses that they have, that'd be a hell of a job, hell of a coaching job.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and this is a team that just 5 years ago in the COVID year went 1-10. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is a team another team like Virginia Tech that a proud tradition of football there. This is where Donovan McNabb came from. This is where Jim Brown
All
played.
right.
Um,
So it's,
yeah, that's
so who have they honestly I haven't done a whole bunch of research on them. Did they I know they brought Angeli over from is he the starting quarterback? I'm assuming he
I
would
think
be, or
it's looking like he will take the job.
because I mean we all know he had stepped in admirably in the semifinal game there, but other than that, hasn't
Yeah,
played a lot.
no, he hasn't. They also brought in Ricky Collins, an LSU
Mhm.
transfer who's been the backup.
Right.
Just stuck behind Jaden Daniels and then Garrett Nussmeyer. So
So
not a
it
lot of
might be good.
experience
Yeah,
for him. But
just
yeah, if you play at LSU, you probably got some talent there. So
right. Yeah.
I do believe Angeli is a projected starter, but
Right.
it should be interesting. Like we said, they just got to survive that schedule, man, because that's just
That's
vicious.
brutal.
But if you can
Yeah.
get If they can
They can get
upset
6.
Tennessee in that first game, a neutral site game, I think that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Because then they get Connecticut and then Colgate for their next two before they start
Mm-hmm.
their conference play with that
Word.
Clemson road trip. So
Yeah, to have Clemson, Duke, and SMU, boom, boom, boom. Golly,
yeah, it's
that's crazy.
just yeah,
That's a
and they
crazy
don't.
run.
Yeah, it's like they don't really get a big reprise because they kind of
No,
alternate.
they don't play. They literally play no bottom feeders in the what we think are gonna be bottom feeders. They don't have Cal. They don't have Stanford.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't have Wake on the schedule.
don't
I
have
mean, they
Virginia.
have
Yeah, it's
no.
all tough
There's
teams. Yeah,
nobody on the schedule where you're like they're definitely gonna win this.
yeah, exactly. It's
Wow,
they're another true
that's
wild
crazy.
card team, and you could see them going 1-7 in conference or pulling some upsets and
Yeah,
going 6-2, 7-1, something
right.
like that.
But man, that is a wild
That
run.
that road schedule is just insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Feel for them there.
Clemson, SMU, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, and Miami. Oh,
In
yeah.
Miami, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. With your
Jesus.
neutral site game, Tennessee. So yeah,
Yeah.
good luck to the Orange this year. All right, all we got left is the basement teams. And this isn't even necessarily saying that we don't think these teams are talented or not capable of an upset. It's just teams that probably aren't a
Not there,
threat to
not
win the
there yet.
conference. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Virginia. That's another team with a tough schedule. You mentioned Tony Elliott may be on the hot seat there. He just hasn't really, he's 11-23 overall there in his 3 years.
Yeah. It just hasn't looked good.
Some improvement last year. They got the 5 wins after two straight 3-win years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another team, another tough schedule. Right off the bat, they play Coastal Carolina. They do get them at home, but that's
That's not that
that
gimme game.
no, in that opening spot, that smaller team's always going to want to make a big statement.
Yeah.
Then another team with a tough road schedule, at NC State, at Louisville,
Hallelujah.
at
At Carolina.
North Carolina, got to go cross country at Cal. And even if you don't think much of Cal, you're going
That's a
across country.
tough
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah.
And then at Duke, they do avoid most of the big guys. No Clemson, no Miami, no Georgia Tech. So
SMU.
yeah,
Yeah.
no SMU. So there's that. They get Florida State at home. Interesting out of conference game with
Yeah.
Washington
Washington
State
State.
coming to
That's a strange middle
yeah.
of the season game. For both, I would say. But yeah.
So
Especially for a team in the Power Four in the middle of October to play a non-conference game against that's a team we know nothing about. I mean, obviously everybody at Washington State is now at every is now at OU.
Oklahoma, yeah,
So
Oklahoma, yeah. And they do bring in what's his face from North Texas, Chandler Morris.
yeah,
Prolific passer in their air raid system there. So we'll see what they can
right.
do. It's just uh, not a lot of talent on this team. So if they can get around that 5-win mark, if they
If
can
they
make
get
a
to a bowl
bowl,
game, that'd
that's
be
great. Yeah,
huge.
that's a great job. Yeah, if they get to a
But
bowl
yeah,
game.
this is
Um,
I don't know, not a lot of games you say they win,
yeah,
but you know, you got to be Coastal. I know it's tough, but you got to win that one. You don't want to be the team that
yeah, especially
loses to the mid-major,
yeah,
especially at home. There, they're always looking those teams, those Coastals, those you know, they're always one that type of team is always looking to knock off an ACC team. I mean, they could very well do it, but yeah, I mean, you got to win that. You got to be William and Mary, of course. You got to be Stanford, I would say. Because
yeah,
I think Stanford, they're gonna turn the corner eventually with Andrew Luck running things there.
yeah, just probably not this
Um,
year.
no,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, like Washington State at home, that's got to be a win.
you
Wake
gotta
Forest
win
at
that
home,
one.
that's got to be a
You
win.
got. I mean, it's tough going to Cal, but that's when you want to get your 6. You got to find a way to win that game.
No, yeah. So it's definitely a bowl is right there for the taking, and I think they
Right,
need to make it to consider this a good year.
right. Yeah,
Um,
I don't
let's
know
move
what.
up to
Yeah,
Chestnut Hill, Boston College, another one. Again, nothing against the team. They, like we said, they lose Castellanos a quarterback, but he and Bill O'Brien just did not gel. Not really the type of quarterback he wants in his offense. Um, Tough schedule for them. My note is actually surprised who is looking, projected to be their starting quarterback is one Dylan Longren. Uh, did not realize
Hmm.
that's where he transferred, but it makes sense. He probably was recruited by Bill O'Brien when Brian was
Yeah,
the OC at Alabama. So
yeah, makes
um,
sense.
familiar with him, like him. Bill O'Brien, hey, say what you would, he does get a lot out of his quarterbacks.
He does.
You know, this is, you know, and I've gotten in discussions with people before, and I'm like, oh, you know, Bill O'Brien teams, you know, you had a Heisman Trophy winner under him, blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, his thing was always situational play calling.
Yeah.
That's what frustrated you. Know,
I
you
mean,
ask an
if you look
Alabama
from a
fan, you know,
10,000, if you look from a 10,000 or 10,000 mile away view and just looked at the stats, you're like, oh yeah, it was awesome.
yeah.
But
But if
yeah,
you watch those games, you know, you think back to that like
yeah,
Tennessee 22 game where you know we weren't
yeah,
giving the ball to. There was plenty of games that year actually where Jameer Gibbs did not touch it near enough.
yeah. Just
That's your problem with
questionable play calling, a lot of questionable
that's
stuff.
yeah that's
But I
Bama
mean,
fans' problem
but
more
that's
than college football.
but I mean, it's been so a lot of questionable stuff even when he was with the Texans. I mean,
Hmm.
so, I mean,
Yeah,
he had Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins at the top of their game
yeah.
and kind
Well,
of underachieved, I would say. I
traded
would
DeAndre
say he
Hopkins.
kind
Horrible
of,
GM, but he's not a GM in
yeah,
college, so.
absolutely terrible GM.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how you look at him as an offensive coordinator.
Hmm.
As a head coach in college,
He's.
he might be in a good spot because,
Hmm.
I mean, he's a Patriots guy. Still probably pretty popular in the Boston area.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sure that has something to do why he ended up there. I just don't. I still don't know overall how well he fits into the college game. Just because he's an old school guy, kind of more of an NFL guy, process type of guy. Doesn't
Hmm.
seem to have a very feelings type of guy. And today's college, I don't know how much that
Hmm.
works. Um,
Yeah, and then tough
he's
schedule.
kind of
They
that
get
my way or the highway type of guy. So,
yeah, and it's tough schedule for them. They get a lot of the heavy hitters. They get
yeah,
Clemson's at home, at Louisville. They play Notre Dame at home, SMU at home, Georgia Tech at home. So you know a lot of those games at home,
yeah.
they still have to play them all. They avoid
He's had to
Miami,
play the big dogs.
and then they have a out of conference road game at Michigan State. You know,
That's an interesting game because I
yeah,
think
very
we
interesting.
wonder about both teams.
Their first conference game of the year, they go cross country to Stanford in the season at Syracuse, a rival there. Play out of conference rival UConn.
That
And
November though, my goodness,
yeah,
Notre Dame, SMU, Georgia Tech,
at
Syracuse,
Syracuse. Well, even if you extend, I mean, honestly,
and
the
Louisville.
last couple
Before that,
months, you know,
yeah,
if
their
you
last
start in
five.
yeah, if you start in October, you go at Pitt and then Clemson, UConn, then at Louisville, then you know that November schedule. So
Yeah, I mean they don't have a lot of give me games
no, yeah,
at
there's
all.
not a lot of leeway in that schedule. They're gonna
No,
have to pull a couple of upsets to
I
probably
mean of
make
course you
noise.
gotta. I mean you obviously beat Fordham,
Yeah,
Michigan
yeah,
State toss up game.
yeah. Since it's on the road,
You
you don't
gotta
know.
beat Stout. You gotta beat Stanford. You gotta beat Cal.
Yeah,
You gotta
and
beat UConn.
UConn, and let's give them those four games.
Yeah.
That means you got to steal two wins from Clemson, Louisville, Notre Dame, SMU, Georgia Tech, Syracuse. That's and Pitt. That's tough.
Yeah,
That's
I
tough.
don't know. It's hard to
Yeah,
see a six wins here.
yeah, it is.
Oof. Yeah,
And other two team, you know, the rest of the teams here. I got the two California teams, the Bay Area, Cal and Stanford.
yeah.
Cal, no more Fernando Mendoza. I think that'll be a huge loss for them.
And they
Um,
kind of fell off so hard after that tough Miami loss last year.
yeah, they did. You know,
When they
they
got
lost.
game day, that was super hyped. The first time ever, they had a lot of
Yeah,
hype going into that, and it kind of,
blew that
kind of
big
like,
lead against Miami.
yeah.
Yeah,
You almost wonder how would that season win if they had pulled that game.
Yeah, exactly. Would it have changed fortunes? They,
Yeah.
of course, did get the big win in Auburn last year. Should have beat them 2 years in a row, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
But like I said, no more Fernando Mendoza, no more Jaden Ott. That's two big
And
losses. There's a lot to
yeah.
replace, and it's just not.
And
It's going to be
honestly,
tough. Yeah.
yeah, and they lost some weird. I mean, they got boat. I mean, they gave up 42 to Virginia Tech. Got boat raced
Hmm.
at Virginia Tech. Lost to a bad Virginia team last year. Oh
Yeah.
no, Missouri. They gave Missouri a game there. But that was
Hmm.
with Castellanos. I mean, Castellanos had some good games there. So I mean, they did go to a bowl game last year. Going to a bowl game this year, I think is gonna be kind of tough. Um,
No, yeah, I think
I
it's
just
probably out of the question this year.
yeah
But yeah, especially just like I said, with what they lost on offense is tough. And then of
they
course their
can't
rival Stanford. We mentioned Frank Reich will be he's technically an interim coach, which is interesting. As Andrew Luck has taken over as the GM for
yeah
that program. As they look to him to turn it around. Um, Frank Reich has done great coaching jobs in the past, but kind of fell off toward his end of his time in Indy, and then that one terrible year in
yeah
North Carolina. Um, and that's just another team. The talent's just not there for them. It's tough.
yeah
They traveled
because
over 26,000 miles this year.
that is just
Yeah,
that's one of those things that really is terrible about college football, right? Is
yeah,
stuff like that. Like
yeah. And that's it's a kind of a tough road schedule too. They travel at Hawaii to start the year, then go at BYU the next, then go cross country at Virginia,
yeah,
play at SMU, at Miami, at North Carolina. Um,
good
and
God.
they, in the year with Notre Dame at home.
Mhm.
So they avoid Clemson. That's about it.
Yeah,
In Louisville, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, just don't see. If you're Stanford, you're just looking to see improvement on the field, and it's not
yeah. You want
necessarily
to
a
get
results-based year. It's a
you
do
want
they
to
look
see
like they're
how
tough?
competitive. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then the last thing we haven't talked about is Wake Forest. Demon Deacons, like we said, no more Dave Lawson. He's
yeah,
retired or moved on. Right, he retired. Right.
yeah.
They bring in Jake Dickert. He was defensive coordinator at Wyoming and Washington State. He was then head coach at Washington State. Um, so we'll see. Just this is another one that not a lot of talent to work with. Robbie Ashford is their quarterback. Speaking of guys that have been in college
My
for a
goodness,
decade.
he's been everywhere. My goodness.
He has. I mean, Auburn, South Carolina. I think he played some JUCO ball.
Yeah,
He's been all over.
because he was in South Carolina last year.
Yeah, he was.
Because he came in with what's when Lenore Sellers got hurt in that LSU game.
Yeah, he did nothing. Uh,
No.
and then the positive here is that their schedule isn't overly tough. They avoid Clemson. They get SMU at home. No Louisville. They get Georgia Tech at home. But
They had the weird Oregon State game in the middle of October.
yeah, they go cross country to Oregon State. But yeah, it's just one of those. Probably looking at 3 4 wins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I
they're a long way
see.
away from playing for the ACC title, which they did just two
Yeah,
years ago. So
yeah. I mean, I honestly I see three wins on the schedule. I mean, Kennesaw, Western Carolina, the Catamounts, and Delaware. Other
yeah,
than that,
that's it. Yeah,
maybe Oregon State. I don't. I
yeah,
can't
it's
say
tough
I
to say.
know a lot about the Beavers there, but outside of that, I mean, that's a yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
just a program in decline. I mean, obviously the big thing, the most recent people were up in arms about is they got out of the Ole Miss game. They felt that things have gotten so bad at the program that they bought their way out of that game. That just kind of shows you where the program's at right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that is
Um,
it. We've
one
talked. Yeah, go ahead.
no, sorry, I was gonna say one thing is kind of weird. Um, we talked about Cal, but they're just who they're, brought in Ron Rivera as their GM. Of course, he went there, but that's I don't know, weird. I, you know,
Well, it's a
how much
weird
say
new
does he have with everything?
yeah, it's a weird new thing that we're adjusting to in the college game now. We even
Yeah,
have it here, Alabama with Courtney Morgan,
right,
who by all accounts is killing it. He's a big part of the
right.
recruiting that we're doing. But it's definitely a newer thing for the college
Yeah, to have all
for the
the
college
GM.
game to have these GMs, yeah, floating around. So yeah, that's an issue. I
But
actually
I
didn't
was
know
thinking
that.
with
So yeah.
somebody as him, like how much does he, is he looking to step in as the coach at one time, or is he just gonna stay in the GM role, or how much say does he have on game day? Ah, that'll be interesting considering his long NFL tenure.
Yeah, no, for
Uh,
sure.
and then there's also old school guy. I've never known him to be in the college game myself. I mean, of course, some point he probably would have had to been, as most coaches are at some point. But I've always thought of him as an NFL guy. So that'll be interesting to see what he does at Cal there. But um, who's their coach? Justin Wilcox. I mean, that's a dude.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been there forever, and you kind of what
Kind
you're
of
getting.
just,
You're getting around 500 pretty much every year,
yeah.
and maybe that's all Cal cares about. Who knows?
Maybe so. So it's hard to say because I mean you cannot. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you think of Cal, what do you think of Marshawn Lynch, Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers?
Rodgers,
Just
that
not
kind
a
of
lot.
that kind of
Not a
era. Yeah,
lot. Not a lot. I mean, their Twitter account is they're funny as hell.
yeah,
I mean, and they had it rolling with going into that Miami game. They got their game day. Yeah, I just don't know what to expect. But that bottom half of the ACC is kind of bad. You
no, yeah.
know,
There's
not a lot of expectations. Um, just, but you would like to see. I would like to see Stanford get back to it. Cause for a while, Stanford was a tough program. I mean, Harbaugh put them on the map. Um, who
and
was the guy? Shaw. Brian Shaw had them going
yeah,
for a good little run
for a
there.
long time. Yeah,
But
and
it's just hard.
they were one of
It's just
those
hard.
tough teams. Yeah, that we talked about.
Yeah,
Who the hell were we talking about when we said they're a team that you played. You're gonna feel it for the week
absolutely.
after. And they were,
Yeah,
and that's I think what they need to get back to. Yeah.
they have to get back to that physical, tough brand of football. I mean, they kept the running back. I mean, they had hella, Toby Gerhardt. Then they had of course, McCaffrey. I mean, they've had quite the run of running backs there.
Bryce
But the
Love.
thing is,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and Andrew Luck was there at the the beginning and of that run there. So I mean, he loves the school. So you would like to see him get back to at least being competitive because it's gone downhill quite a bit there at Stanford. Um,
For
and
sure.
yeah, but also the interesting too with the long term. What are they doing with their coach? What's his name is labels the intern. If they have success, does he want to stay around longer? You know, are they are s- are they
Yeah,
already looking? Are they
it's
already looking around to see what their next move is?
I'm interested, yeah, to know if that's more on their side or if that's maybe a him thing. Like he's like, look, I'll do this, but I really want to be in the NFL type thing.
Right. I'm just more or less doing this for Andrew because we were cool.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's just a, hey, I'm going to do you this favor and let you really find who you want to lead. Or yeah,
Yeah.
if they have they pull an upset or two, and or if they
or maybe
look really
finds he
good
likes a
underhand.
college game.
Yeah, or maybe
'Cause,
they're like, okay, hey man, like let's make this a permanent thing.
yeah,
But yeah, that's it. It's should be an
so,
interesting year in the ACC again.
yeah. I think like what was they used to always have on the college game day final. It was the ACC Wheel of Death. Who was going to win the Coastal Division?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a train wreck. Because everybody be kind of around it, but it's 8 and
Mm-hmm,
it's towards the end of the season. It's 8-4, 7-5.
mm-hmm,
No one really separates themselves. I mean, you kind of see that in the ACC this year. I mean, a lot of
mm-hmm,
teams that could be good, but it's going to be a lot of. I think that middle area is going to be
mm-hmm,
really a lot of teams in that fall in that middle area. It's going to be competitive.
mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of almost feel Big 12ish this year outside of like Clemson.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say Clemson's like to me the only, and they're not even a guarantee, but they're the closest to,
but
of a sure thing that we have.
I mean, you have a lot of
Um,
teams that if they do well, you're not shocked, but you're not shocked that they don't do well. I don't know. It's
yeah.
a toss up, but no, there's a lot of games that are not gimme games at all in the ACC. It's a tough bunch of teams.
Mm-hmm,
It should be a fun ACC season.
mm-hmm,
I know they're probably the most disrespected conference in America, but they doing doing what they can to stay alive.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, elsewhere in the world of sports, kind of that slow time of year. NFL preseason kicked off, so
Some
not
interesting.
some interesting
So,
stuff. A 70-yard field goal by the
yeah,
what, Jaguars kicker.
yeah, that's
No huge injuries. No, Landon Dickerson did get hurt in the Eagles'
he did get hurt.
practice.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I think he was taken off on a cart too. So
yeah.
hopefully
So,
he's all right. He's a guy with a history of
right.
knee injuries.
Yeah.
Of course,
The biggest thing was all the big time rookies had pretty solid debuts there for what that's worth. I mean, Shadur Sanders got
yeah.
quite the welcome in there in Charlotte. I mean, they were on the road at Carolina, but a
Hmm.
lot of fans came to see him. He got a pretty solid outing. Cam Ward had a solid outing. And
Jackson Dart looked really good up in New York.
Jackson Dart was, I
Hmm.
think, kind of a surprise, but he's kind of the wild card of the rookie quarterbacks because, I mean, you see moments where Jackson Dart is that dude, and then
Hmm.
you see other times where he's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But he has a lot of upside. I think, but I think I think that's a big thing of the weekend. I guess is just those rookies actually for their first time out.
Hmm.
All the big name guys all look pretty solid. I don't know what you take away from week one of preseason. But
Yeah, exactly. It's
I'd say,
preseason, but it's nice to see them getting their reps in,
oh yeah,
looking good.
yeah,
Um,
see some games.
yeah. Elsewhere, Cam Little, by the way, is the name of the Jaguars kicker who nailed that 70-yard
Yeah,
field goal, which
which
of
doesn't
course,
count,
yeah, would be the all-time
but it's
record.
preseason.
But yeah, but it's preseason, but still nice to know that
Yeah,
you have that in your bag if you're Jacksonville. It's like,
yeah,
okay, hey, we might have something here.
yeah,
Elsewhere in the world of sports, Aja Wilson, first ever 30-point, 20 rebound game in WNBA history. Um, and then, there's some other news with the WNBA. People just keep throwing green dildos on the court. It's really weird.
yeah.
What is it? A cryptocurrency company has
Yeah,
claimed that they're doing it as a marketing thing, so who the hell knows? Um,
kind of. I mean,
Something
know,
else. Baseball. Jen Powell, I believe is how she pronounced her name. First ever female
yeah,
umpire in
that's huge. I
Major
mean,
League history. She worked the weekend series between Miami and Atlanta, which Atlanta actually
yeah.
took four or five from, which is weird to say. They actually hit the ball too.
Yeah,
Too little, too late. But
yeah.
Um,
That's I mean that's huge for the you gotta that's crazy. That it's
no,
taken until 2025 to ever get a female
yeah,
umpire. But
and then I guess honestly, the biggest sports news of the week was off the field, but ESPN is buying the NFL Network and the rights to the Red Zone channel from
W
the NFL for ten
and
percent.
WWE,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
10% of the company, and
yeah,
then got WWE in 2026.
yeah. Next, starting
Started with
next year,
WrestleMania.
all the pay per views will move to the new ESPN streaming thing that's coming out.
Um, yeah, I'm
Um,
waiting to see how that all plays out
well, I
because
did see. I was pretty mad about that because I'm like, damn, man, I'm just not crazy about that. And of course, you talking to the wife, and she's like, "What does that mean? We'll get rid of YouTube TV?" If I'm like, I don't know, because not everything's on ESPN, not quite yet, almost, but
right. Yeah, but
but
I mean that's the thing is like, do you get rid of the YouTube TV? But
well,
then
what
my
I
wife likes
saw
all the local news and stuff.
exactly,
But
and
then
what I saw is that
if
I
you have
think
cable, then
yeah,
you
apparently
can
if you have cable, satellite, or if you have YouTube TV,
you can
um,
sign in because there's
you
no way
get
they want to lose their
free.
cable.
Exactly, yeah.
Because that's the thing is like, yeah, you don't want to lose your cable subscribers because you're gonna get more money that way. But it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be plenty of people that are just sports have cable because they're sports fans. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna cut that bad boy to get the $30 a month ESPN.
Mm-hmm. But
The
yeah,
only
so
thing with that is all the other channels, that show sports. I mean, of course,
yeah, your
you know,
CBS's, your NBC's, and
CBS, your NBC with, um, and then with the whole Big Ten thing. I mean, obviously, if you want to see Big Ten football, you can't do anything ESPN
mm-hmm.
because you're not gonna see anything. Of course, the NFL. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what ESPN does with the NFL. NFL on now only 10% of ESPN.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know if
some.
that's the definition of a monopoly or not, but that
Well, and
seems
there's
kind of
some
crazy.
journalistic ethical questions there. Like, does this mean
Yeah,
that because ESPN, they're not they don't quite do the journalism they used to, but they still in the past 3 years have had some good investigative journalism
right.
about the NFL. They uncovered a lot of
Yeah,
the what's it, the Dan Snyder stuff,
yeah,
a lot of their CTE stuff,
yeah.
and now
So
you
does
wonder.
that?
Of course, the NFL says they're not going to have any say in that, but yeah, it's
Yeah, right. I mean,
right. It's ESPN. Yeah,
uh,
right. Exactly. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
right.
you have 10% of the company now. Like, obviously,
They have an ear
yeah,
now,
yeah.
officially.
But
They've always had one.
I've always enjoyed NFL Red Zone. I just hoping ESPN doesn't mess it up.
Well, it's
Oh,
weird too, because yeah, I think what they've said is they're just going to leave it, and who knows. It'll be interesting to see what they do with some of the other programming,
but
how
man,
they
they're doing a
treat the
lot of
NFL Network now.
yeah. Are they gonna fire all their people and bring in the ESPN live, the NFL live crew to do the NFL Network stuff, or
Yeah,
how
really
does
kind of
that work?
integrate it together. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
and
it's
then you
like, do
have
you have good? What is it? Good Morning Football. Do they want that to go against their Get Up and First Take or whatever? And
yeah,
the
yeah,
Red Zone
that's
thing is weird too because ESPN actually owns the rights to Red Zone for uh, TV, but the NFL keeps the digital rights to it. So
yeah, so
kind
that's
of
weird.
yeah interesting. And of course you have the it's just weird, who knows?
And then you have
Um,
your then you have your whole wrestling thing. That's just a
yeah,
whole
that's
nother, a whole nother thing, with how that does.
yeah,
But I'm
which
not. I mean, I'm not shocked considering all the announcers associated with ESPN have gone on to wrestling. Joe Tessitore and
well
um,
that and yeah that them wanting to keep a stake, keep some UFC stuff. Of course
yeah.
TKO owns both UFC and WWE now, so I
But
wasn't shocked like some people were when I saw that news.
I
I was
wasn't
like,
shocked. But I've
yeah,
enjoyed the peak. I've enjoyed it. Wrestling on Peacock. Um, so I just hope that they just keep it similar. Don't change any of the people. keep the pre people, keep everything as it is. I would say
Yeah,
if they do
yeah.
that,
I think most
I'm
of that.
cool with it.
I think a lot of that still comes from WWE anyway. But
Yeah,
I will say the one thing, like I said, I was just happy to see that as a YouTube TV guy that I'll be able to get
yeah,
access to the ESPN app because I was upset because I'm like, man, I'm not paying $30 a month just so I can see a couple
pay per views a
pay per
year.
views because that was always a great thing
Yeah,
with the WWE network and then Peacock is nine
yeah,
bucks a month and then whatever Peacock is now 13, 14, whatever tier I have.
right. And but then there's
That's worth
some
it for
interesting shows
you
on
know
Peacock too. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean if
Peacock's got
you,
a good I mean I'm not getting rid of Peacock. They have Premier League
yeah,
stuff and a lot of shows I
yeah.
like.
Yeah, but
Also,
it was a good combination. You got your wrestling fix, but hey, there was
yeah.
also some interesting stuff there. Yeah,
Well,
and I'm
yeah, and
not
it's always a pain too because then they have to move. Do they move all the old WWE stuff over to the
right. Does that
ESPN app? Is
move to
that
the
how it's
ESPN
happened, or
vault?
is it just the? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's who knows? Who knows?
2026 and up stuff.
Or do they just have the
Yeah,
pay per views and that's it? Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I don't know.
It's
And well, what happens with SmackDown? Does it end up going to ESPN or
yeah,
ESPN
exactly.
two
Because
or
I don't know how long um,
what?
those rights are for, but
I
that's
will say I am happy that SmackDown moved back to 2 hours because that 3 hours is dragging.
oh yeah yeah absolutely
That was probably one of their better
um,
decisions there. But
it's
so I would, I mean,
yeah, the three
it'd be
hours just
interesting
doesn't work
times.
for a
No,
weekly show.
no, it doesn't.
2 hours, and then if you make the pay per views 4 or 5 hours, I don't care about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
I'm
mean, I would say as long, I mean, if it's on the ESPN network or the streaming or whatever, cool. Just don't change it. Just like Red Zone, don't change it. Leave it how it is. Like,
yeah,
yeah, but it will be interesting to see how they integrate all the different talent that's on the NFL Network with the ESPN talent that's already there. Because I mean, both have some good people there, but yeah, it'd be weird to see how that all plays out. But it's also crazy for all I mean, obviously, for all the stuff about ESPN getting rid of all their talent and always making these cuts, they always have some big deals going on. So I mean, obviously, what is that's interesting when you see they cut all these people, but yeah, here they pull this, that, the other. Like man, obviously they've spent their money on the more so I guess the events than the people that are calling the games or talking about it.
yeah, right. Plug in more plugs for WWE stuff. It'd be funny
Yeah.
to see that in the middle of a SEC game or something.
Yeah, so that'll be
Um,
it'll be an interesting transition. But yeah, I mean, as long as they let us sign in with our cable credentials to get what if it'll be streaming or through an app or whatever, I'm cool. And yeah, once I saw that, I was a little because I was upset at first when we just had an amazing SummerSlam, and then you hit us with that. I was like, golly,
yeah, right.
there's
That's because my thing with all these apps is
so
I,
many apps.
it's so many, and the from a consumer standpoint, I mean, when it's just annoying to have all these different subscriptions, you have to be dependent
Yeah,
upon your internet connection, and
yeah,
but the biggest thing is more of a convenience thing, and it's like especially during football
absolutely.
seasons. This something I say too is like the reason I like having something like YouTube TV is because I mean, of course, the multi-view
Yeah,
amazing. But even then, it's just the ease of being able to flip from game to game.
yeah,
It's really easy on YouTube TV, or if you got
yeah,
Direct TV or cable.
yeah,
Uh, it's just easier than like, oh wait, I'm watching this game on ESPN, but there's a close game that's a Big Ten. Wait, where that's on Peacock. I gotta switch over to Peacock, and then you gotta let that
yeah,
app load up and da da da. And it's
yeah.
I mean, obviously, if I'm watching Alabama, then that's the only game. I
Nothing
might
else.
flip it,
Yeah, nothing else matters.
but it's when I'm just enjoying football. It's annoying to have to do that. So,
Yeah,
uh, uh,
and really, I mean,
yeah,
individually, the things aren't that expensive. You spend 17 years. When you add it all up, I mean, you're spending a lot of
yeah.
money.
You get back to what the reason you got rid of
you cut the cord in the first place. Because
Yeah,
like the
because I
reason we got
mean,
rid of
to
DirecTV is
watch
because we were
the
paying 250 a month, and we're like, we don't
exactly.
need this. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you look at it too. I mean, to watch even an NFL, I mean, you have to have Peacock, you
Mm-hmm.
have to have ESPN, you have to have CBS, you have to have Fox, you have to have NBC, you have to
Amazon.
have ESPN 3 to watch some. I'm sure they'll put some streaming game there. Yeah, you have to have Amazon Prime for the Thursday. You add
Netflix
all
for the
that
special
up,
games. Yeah.
yeah. You add all that up, and man, you've spent a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even include your red zone. That doesn't even include if you buy the Sunday ticket to YouTube TV. I mean,
And
you're
I'm
spending a
still
lot of money.
waiting. I swear to God, there's someone's gonna come out with an app soon. It's like log into all your streaming services and then use it from this interface, right? It's just gonna be a cable box. We're gonna
Yeah.
circle back around to that. I'm just waiting for
I
someone
mean,
to
uh,
release an
and
app
that's
that you
yeah,
sign into all your other streaming services and you can search everything from this one app. You know,
yeah.
uh,
And I mean,
oh, there
it's
it is.
kind of already maybe not the most legal way, but I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people with the broken fire sticks, and that's what they have.
No, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So I mean, the interface is there. It's just a matter of someone officially putting
Yeah, exactly. And then making it uh,
reasonable.
easy to the point where you don't need to switch between apps. All you
Yeah.
got to do is just like,
Put
hey,
it
this is
just
a game I want to watch.
this
Switch
is
it
these
over.
are all the games going right now. I just have to click here. Yeah,
Yeah, um,
that'll come eventually. But yeah,
it's
um,
coming. Yeah, it's coming. But yeah, anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here? As we
no,
hit the 2 hour mark now.
wow, yeah, we got a lot.
Um,
I think that's pretty much it.
I think that's. I didn't really have anything else from world sports. Cal Raleigh hit another home run today, 45 on the season now.
Yeah,
So he continues his great year. But yeah,
yeah. My Yankees are terrible now. We're not even gonna make the playoffs anymore.
I,
But
I don't even know what happened to Max Reed, man. He's just a bit crazy.
oh God,
Aaron Judge
but
hurt, still
hey,
all right.
oh, yeah. Well, I think he's come back, but not. Even the Red Sox have taken over.
Mm.
Might get a new manager out that whole situation, which I think a lot of people aren't too upset about. But
I was uh, I was listening to I forget what it was a couple of weeks ago some podcast and there was a Yankees fan talking about man and he did the words he had for Brian Cashman.
yeah,
Um,
that's a guy that's got a quite. He has some dirt on somebody. 'Cause for him to never, I don't.
well,
That even seem like he ever gets on the hot seat.
according to him, it was because him and Hal Steinbrenner are just buddies, and so
Yeah,
like Hal's there, and he's definitely not his dad. He's not throwing around money like his dad did.
yeah,
As much as I hated the Yankees, I mean, back in the day, as a Braves and O's fan, you know, George is never letting Juan Soto out of the Bronx. It's just not
oh,
happening.
absolutely not.
No,
It's not
yeah,
happening.
um,
He's gonna.
yeah,
He's probably gonna get him a little cheaper. He's kind of threatening him.
yeah. He's gonna somehow get him in there on a
Yeah,
somewhat friendly
he's kind.
deal.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. Yeah, Juan Soto's definitely still in the Bronx.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. 6.5 behind
yeah.
the Jays now, but uh, still got the third spot in the wild card.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my thing on the Yankees. It might make some heads roll, but disappointing. But
Wait, hold
you
on,
know,
hold
you
on.
kind of got that feel ever since the injuries there.
Hmm. Um,
But hey, but I mean, be we'll have some interesting playoff baseball once we get down to it there for sure.
All right, but that does it for us here. As always, subscribe, like, rate us, tell your friends, tell your rich friends about us. If you want to sponsor us, holler at us on any of our socials. Check out the
Absolutely.
alabamatake.com for all the good writings and Alabama Take Family Podcast. I do believe this Tuesday is the return of Taking It Down for your
Awesome.
TV fix. I did go ahead and set up the Taking On Sports College Pick'em group this year, so you can go ahead and sign
Nice.
up for that now. Of course, we do against the spread in our group. Um,
The manly way of doing it.
exactly the right way. None of that confidence point crap. Uh,
Yeah.
we will be back with our Friday bet column, of course, for football season this year.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, as always, thanks for listening, folks. Keep it done up real good yourselves out there. Greg, buddy, I'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.